Um, hey guys, this is toyas-world. Since last time, I have not actually been continuing this drawing. Been a bit busy the last 2 weeks with work, so I've actually got the day off, sort of. I was planning to stream yesterday, but I just had way too many chores and errands to run, so I'm here today, and I'm forcing myself to do it. Not forcing myself to do it. I'm forcing myself not to do the errands and chores that I have to do today, just to do this. Among other things. If you can hear me nibbling or drinking, I've just got a coffee and literally just a bun of bread to chew on, because I like to eat and drink coffee. But yeah, let's get started with this. Again, got somebody playing not playing YouTube, playing a game on YouTube in the background. But yeah, I don't think my stream will go very long today compared to last time, but I'm actually pretty excited to do this again because I had a lot of fun last time, even though nobody watched. Let's see. Get rid of that. So this time I'm a little bit organized. Hopefully you can all hear me, otherwise, crap. Let me just check it. Make sure that I'm actually recording. Oops. Okay, it seems like you guys can hear me. I'm sorry about all the tapping and stuff. I do have a microphone, my headphones. Actually, I've got another one. But for some reason the headphones just come up really, really quiet and you can barely hear me, so rather than you guys squeezing your ears to try and listen, I've just decided to do it through my webcam microphone for now. And maybe next time I can get my actual microphone when I find it set up. I don't know why I'm just not doing that instead of doing like little bit by little bit. It's really frustrating. I keep doing that to myself, and I gotta remember to do like big strokes first, and then I can go back and fix all the little strokes later. Otherwise I'm just spending hours doing the smaller things first. And okay, my computer's a bit slow. I need to buy a new computer, guys. My computer keeps freezing and blue screening. It almost didn't come back to life, but I can't remember how, but it was fixed, which was good because I was shitting bricks. Excuse my language. I was crapping my pants. Let's see. There. I reckon there. At the moment, yeah, just working on some form again. I think the lightness of it, I think I've chosen it too bright, so it's really weird. There we go. Oops. Let's try and stick back to there, and there, and there, and there. Sorry, I think out loud sometimes. If anybody ever calls you crazy for talking to yourself, just say thinking out loud. Makes you sound less crazy. That's what I tell myself anyway. Let's see. Okay. I think it's coming along. I still feel like there needs a bit more lighting there just to give it a bit more, to bring it up a bit more in terms of form. Let's add that, that, that. Sorry, just eating a bit of bread, bit of pun. feel like that can be a little bit lighter. I'm not actually working. Oops. Actually, you know what? I'm not actually working on the highlights of the hair yet. I'm just trying to get the form up a little bit more. So like the shinies, I call them shinies, is when you've done the hair and it's literally just that part there. But I don't want to do that to the end. I'm just, because the light is coming from here, I just want to bring this up more because the hair is raised there, so there'd be more light exposed there. Whereas here it'd be a little bit more darker because it's going into the bun, if that makes sense. I actually think I stuffed that up. There we go. So yeah, that looks like it's working well. One of my tricks I do is I sort of bring it back and look at it from this, because when you're looking too close, you're just seeing like crappy scribbles, really. And that was one of my main problems when I first started taking digital art a little bit seriously 2 years ago, is I'd be like zoomed in here trying to get all those little parts when really you can like fix them at the end. So I'm just trying to get, and that's why I have the small window here as well, not just for you guys to see what's going on, but to see how like the lighting and the colors and the shadows are working together. Yeah. There we go. I still feel like this is odd. Right. There we go. Do that. Yes. I think that's working okay. I think. Okay, that's odd. That's a little bit light. You guys should see my sink. It is full of teaspoons. That is because I've had so many coffees this morning. I'm just having instant coffee as much as I'd love to have, you know, the standard coffee stuff, milk and all that. It's expensive. Like, I mean, I just got paid yesterday, which is great, but, you know, I'm saving money having instant coffee at home. Yeah, and I'm not drinking it because I'm tired. I mean, when I woke up, I was drinking it because I was tired, but now I'm drinking it because I like it. It tastes nice. And it's a little bit cold. My fingers are actually cold. I didn't realize that until I said cold. Let's see. I want to do that. So one of the things I'm trying with my colors recently is I tend to go too far on the right over here, which is more saturated colors. Because I really like saturated colors. I do. But I've found that doing too much, it's screaming in your face when the picture is done. I mean, it looks nice. If you're doing a cartoony thing, it's fine. But I've been trying to experiment with more grayer tones, so more onto this side rather than that side. But I still find myself still going to the right to get those saturated looks. But I've been trying to make, yeah, see, like that's all the way on the grey side, and it's accentuating the light of this, the lightened parts of this, but also the colors of the actual drawing too, as opposed to it just all screaming in your face. Yeah, actually I like that. That's working nicely. And I'm going to do that. It's funny. I was just looking at this the other day, and I was like looking at this area here, and it kind of looks blue. This is going back to my color theory stuff. Yeah, it kind of looks blue, but really, it's green. How odd is that? I feel like I don't have to work too much on the robe today because mostly it's done. Like, it doesn't have a lot of folds or detail in it too much. Yeah, that's working fine. The other thing that I've really been getting into while drawing is rim lights. I'm really liking rim lights. I feel that it brings out the picture. I mean, I might be doing it a bit too much, maybe, but at the moment I'm just having a bit of fun. I've actually started using more color in my rim lights than rather just the white of it. I've been adding a bit of pink and blues and stuff in just to give it a bit more variance between colors, I guess. Let's do that, and do that. The way that the way that I learned how to do this sort of procedure was going back and forth between light and dark. So one layer would just focus on lights, one layer would focus on darks, and then the next layer again would go back to lights. Which worked for a while. Which worked for me for quite a while. It helped me advance with my stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I see something here I need fixing. And instead of creating another new layer, I just do it. Why not? It's, yeah, these parts here, like, I'm adding detail into it right now, which I can really do it at the end, but I like to sort of see where things are going. Let's see. Whoops. In terms of, like, how it's all working together. So I'm looking, like, back and forth at my... Well, I've got actually another screen, so I've got 3 screens up. Not 3 screens, sorry, I've got 2 screens. But on my second screen, I've got another window of this up, which is slightly a bit bigger. So I'm looking at how the details are working there, but I'm also looking at the smaller window to make sure that I'm not stuffing anything up in terms of, like, it's big things. So just in case I accidentally start working on lighting over here, I can actually see that that actually does work a little bit. But, like, whether or not it's working. I might do that, actually. So, while I'm doing this, I'm actually thinking about lighting coming up from the sky, and also lighting coming from here. Natural lighting being up there, so even though these parts up here might be a little bit dark, it's still got a bit of lighting coming through, as opposed to, like, in here, where there's no light really hitting there at all. Yeah. And then later, I might put some rim on the left side. Oh, that's odd. I never noticed that. So at the moment, I'm watching somebody play Kingdom Hearts, and the battle music was playing, and it's normally the battle music, well, what I recognize it as, the battle music for when you're versing Oogie Boogie, so that's what I thought that he was up to, is the Oogie Boogie battle in the first Kingdom Hearts game. But I looked down, and it's actually at the very start of the game when you're versing Cerberus. And, who knew? Yeah, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I liked the first 2 games. I still like the first one overall. I felt the third one was sort of just a letdown. Like, they were just chucking in stuff to be there, and there wasn't that much focus, and I really hated Karu. Sorry, there wasn't as much focus on the story, I guess. That's what I felt about it. But yeah, I really hated Kairi as well. Like, yeah, she played the typical princess in the first game, but she still tried to fight back when she came back from losing her heart. And in the second game, she was showing initiative and fighting as well, even though she got the flower keyblade. But in the third one, it's just like, sure, she's training and stuff, but you don't actually see it. And from what I remember, I've only really played it once. And then when you do actually see her engage in battle, they just cut away, and all I remember was her getting captured at the end. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, after all that training, she's still no good. Like, are they purposely not showing Kairi progress as a Keyblade wielder? Because that's what it feels like. Whereas you see Axel, you know, or sorry, Lee. You see Lee taking on a whole bunch of Heartless and kicking ass, and with her it's just like, nah, we can leave it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I might... actually, I want to add a bit of lighting here, but I feel like her hand is being pushed back too much. Try that, try that. Try that. So So let's see. Wow, I've already been recording for like 15 minutes. That's a lot. And I want to keep going, but I've got something else that I need to do this afternoon. Like I said, I've just been just running errands, and like I'm doing it because otherwise I'm just going to keep thinking until I do it. I still need to do this, which I've been doing for like the last couple of months. I still need to do this. And finally I'm getting around to doing it all, and it's just taking up most of my day, all of my day. Yesterday I was like, I'll do this, I'll do this. And then I can draw, and what happened was I barely ended up drawing yesterday. Like, I wanted to stream, didn't get to do that. You know, to all the teenagers that may or may not be listening, adulting, don't do it. Especially when you come from a well-off home. Don't do it. You don't need it. Well, you do need it. But you won't like it. That's still not working well. Sorry, I'm eating. Oh, am I smashing the keyboard? I just realized that. It doesn't sound that loud to me, but I know that on the computer it sounds freaking loud. I'll try be as light, and then next week, if I come back next week, I'll try connect my microphone so that way you're just hearing me chew bread instead of hearing me smash the keyboard, but I'm not actually smashing the keyboard. So I probably told you all this last week, but generally when I'm drawing or working on the computer with anything, I like to have either music playing or something playing in the background. Mostly, what I mostly do is listen to people play games on YouTube. One, because I either don't have it. Two, it could possibly be a scary game, and I do like scary games, and I have played them. But I don't have the energy to play them and hide in one spot for like 30 minutes. But this time, I felt like doing a Kingdom Hearts playthrough. And, let's see. But like, if any of you play Kingdom Hearts, it's a bit of a long game. Not as long as Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy can go on forever. But Kingdom Hearts, it's not like... It's not, in terms, I guess, linear like, let's say, Until Dawn. Where you go, bam, next scene, bam, next scene. You have to keep going back and forth in Kingdom Hearts. You know, to level up, to go back and find things, to do the missions or quests or whatever you want to call them. And like, I just needed like something where I could keep going back and forth to, like whenever. And I've played all those games. Those games being Spyro and Crash. I can keep going back and forth and stop and not, you know, not be too fret about keeping up with the story. But with Kingdom Hearts, you have to constantly level up this and that, like level grinding to get to the next part. So you're going back and forth just level grinding, and I don't really have time to do that right now, so I'm just watching somebody do it on YouTube. Like I said, if you can do it, watch it. Watch people play games on YouTube. But if you're one of those people who likes to, or who gets easily distracted by YouTube, don't do it. Keep doing your assignments, keep doing your work, whatever you're doing. If you're at work, don't watch me. Go back to work. Unless you're on your break, that's okay. I feel like that's wrong. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I like want to go in now and start refining a bit. Do you think you guys would let me do that? Like, I feel like the lighting's okay, and I feel like I can start refining, but I don't know. I'm trying not to rush, but when I start refining bit by bit by bit. Maybe I'll start with the hair, because I'm really liking where the hair's at. And then I can continue next time, because I'm hoping not to stay on this too long, even though I am really having a lot of fun. Like I said, I've just got so much stuff I need to do. I think I just got a commission today, which is pretty awesome, and from my understanding, they need it within the next 2 weeks. So I have to work around my actual job to do it, and I'm planning to get started on it today and spending a lot of time doing that because I'm trying to be professional. Actually, today's not too bad on YouTube. Last week my cat was just really, like my older cat was just really keen for attention from me, and I'm like, what the hell? And normally he's like that when he wants food or wants to go to bed. But every now and again he'll just come up onto my computer and annoy the crap out of me. Like, I love my cats, but when I'm at the computer I'm working. I got to do work, you know? I give them attention at the end of the day. Even my youngest ginger cat knows that. When I first got him, he kept jumping on me and wanting attention all the time, which was, cute at first, but like it was very distracting as well. Like, I was doing less work, so I'm just like, you need to go over there, I need to work. And I think he's got the idea that when I'm on the computer, you don't come up and disturb me, because he doesn't really come up here. He'll look at me for permission or sit close to me if he wants to come up, and whether or not I look at him or not will give him the idea of whether he's allowed to come up. And sometimes, I take a break and give them attention. But for the most part, when I'm on the computer, he knows that he's not allowed up here while I'm working. Which is the funny thing, because for some reason, when I take breaks on the computer, so like I'll stop and I'll like put something on to watch, like to actually watch, not just to listen to. He's up here in a second and I'm like, how do you know when I'm on my breaks? How do you know when to come up here and annoy me? He just knows. Like, I've noticed that with him. I feel like that's coming out wrong. How does the cat know that I'm on a break? But yeah, right now they're actually both sleeping. I don't know where Buddy is, my ginger. I can't see him. But my black cat has decided to sleep on all the clean clothes and leave his fur everywhere. Does anybody have cats that do that? Like, there'll be all this space and they decide to like sleep on the laptop or the clothes or the book, like specifically. When there's like, I've got a giant coffee table, well, not giant, but a decent enough like large coffee table. And I cleaned up, but like the last week I think I had a book out on the table because I was reading it. And out of all the space that was there, he decided to lay on the book out of everything else. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, right on the book? He actually, when he was a kid, he used to like to lay on my laptop, especially while I was doing essays. And I was tired, and stressed out. I'm like, go away, cat. That was before he was mine. He just liked to lay on all my stuff. Yeah, I think that's coming along okay. I think I need a... Sorry, when I mumble, I'm actually thinking out loud. Thinking out loud to see what I need to do, because I'm looking back and forth at windows and going, I could fix this or I could fix that. Yeah, like the hair's coming out nicely, but I feel like the black part, sorry, not the black parts, the dark parts here aren't really meshing well. Maybe I'll do that to give it a bit more. I don't know. So I think, well, I'm pretty sure this is how I start going into detail after I think, once actually, I could make the butt a bit lighter, but that's okay, I can do that after. Once I've decided that I like the lighting setup. And if you guys feel like I'm still doing that too early, please give me some tips. I would like to get faster at this. I don't want to stay here for hours working on it. As much fun as that is. Cause yeah, I see a lot of people on like, Twitter and DeviantArt and ArtStation, and they do these like really amazing drawings, and I'm like, wow, I'm obviously inspired a little bit. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. And then I see the whole, I did this in an hour, and I'm like, what? No way. And here I gotta get rid of that. And here I am spending hours trying to do this. I guess because I'm stronger at illustration, so I focus more on refining and refining, maybe, whereas other people are more concept artists and they just get the quickest idea out, sort of thing. I don't know. I can't help it. Like I said, I'm from a traditional background originally. Like I didn't start with a computer. My family couldn't afford a lot of things when I was younger, so it was like pen and paper for me, or pencils, and even pencils were hard to buy. You know, some pencils can be insanely expensive. Sorry, my English just gone there. Yeah, some of it can be I can't pronounce it. Okay, some things can be very expensive. There we go. Let's just say that for now. And so, yeah, I couldn't afford a computer. I think my first actual computer where I didn't have to share it, like, I had a computer with my mum's side growing up, but it was so bad. Like, it was one of those old computers where you can only have, like, one game on it. And that was when I was still in primary school. And then my dad finally got a computer for me when I lived with him, and that was, like, I think when I was 14, so I started dabbling in media and stuff, but I don't think I had Photoshop, and I don't think I did that. I think I was doing more video editing because I saw all the, like, crazy music videos everybody was doing at home and, like, fan art videos, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that too. And I did that for a little while, but at the same time, I didn't have the net at that stage either. Yeah, I think I had a computer for a while until high school, but I think my actual first real computer that was mine that I didn't have to share was when I was 20, I think, maybe. Let's just say around the span of 19 to possibly 22 was when I first got my first computer. And yeah, and at the time I was actually studying animation, not Photoshop or digital art or anything, because I was still drawing traditionally. So, like, when you're drawing traditionally, you probably already know this, but you don't get to, like, choose an area and then, and then just paint it like that. It doesn't work. You have to do detail by detail. So I think that's why I have a lot of trouble doing, in my opinion, environment art, because it's a lot of shapes and stuff, and I'm used to doing detail and that first, like abstract shapes, I mean. Abstract shapes, so I'm not used to that. Like, I had an assignment, I remember, in uni where I had to do, like, this very abstract animation, and man, did I suck at that. I could not do it. And even when I did complete it, it was literally just stars. Like, I couldn't do an abstract. I couldn't make blobs of whatever. I just could not do it. So, it is something that I'm trying to get better at in environment art. I've been following a few people, and their art, like their environment art, is amazing, and they're just like a couple of simple brush strokes, and I'm like, okay, brain, that looks easy, and then my brain just, like, craps itself. But yeah, like, that hair is coming out really nice. I'm liking it for the moment, and I can go back and fix it. Don't look at this part here. That is just shocking. That does not need to be that light. I didn't notice that until now. That's the other thing, is, like, you know, I don't notice things until later as well, and it seems so, like, blatantly obvious that it's wrong, and it's still there. Sorry that I turned the, sorry about my really loud tapping again. But yeah, that I turn the canvas a lot. It's just, I don't want to, like, you know, turn my body upside down just to get a certain angle, at a certain angle, draw at a certain angle. I'd just rather turn the canvas, which probably a lot of you already do anyway. Yeah. I still need to get back into my 3D, so I'm doing a tutorial on Udemy for 3D modeling. And it's pretty good, but, you know, I still have problems with the YouTube, with the tutorials. Like, it's a little bit like their program might be a little bit outdated, so it's, or so the next step is somewhere where I can't find, or like I follow the tutorial directly, but it's doing like something completely different. I actually started learning ZBrush at the start of the year, and I was actually having fun. I was doing it. It wasn't too bad, but then I got to this one part where it was doing something completely different to the tutorial, and I had no idea how to fix it, like no idea. I checked up YouTube, I asked people, I was baffled. So I stopped, and then the trial ran out and I haven't touched it since. I mean, maybe one day again I will, where that stuff doesn't happen. Yeah, so it was like, I think in the general sense, it was basically trying to get me to combine assets into like one layer or one group or something like that. But it like broke everything and then made multiple layers of all the broken parts. Like, technically the model itself looked fine, but the layers, like, it was broken into tiny little pieces. I was trying to combine the teeth because I just made duplicates of the teeth and then placed them accordingly, but then when I went to try and group them or merge layers or whatever, it just broke the teeth into tiny little pieces and made new layers out of that, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know. But which is sort of like what I'm stuck at now with 3D modeling. I'm trying to follow the tutorial, and I've done it step by step over quite a few times, and somehow it's just still coming out weird. Where is the... There it is. So I think... Sorry, just 2 seconds. I'm just trying to find the fringe. So what I'm trying to do is create glasses, and I'm trying to do it in the method that the tutorial is showing me, but it's just like the glass curve, not the glass curve, but the frame of the curve that's coming down that sits just above your nose, not the nose particularly, just under your eyes, that curve. So I'm trying to do that in the way that the tutorial is showing me, but it goes the opposite way, so the curve is going up and it's upside down. And I don't know how to fix that. Like, I mean, technically I can still create it, just not following that, but I'd still like to follow all the tutorial stuff to learn all these like tricks and not just tricks, like tricks and shortcuts and stuff. But for some reason it's not working. I've just had way too much work to do it, because I think 3D is something where I would like to just sit down and do, like, for hours. And like at the time when I was doing it consistently, I was doing it like maybe 3 hours every second day, which was a lot, and then I'd have to like remember to take my breaks and do something else, you know, OH&S stuff. OH&S is very important, guys. Do not ignore it. I've started going back to gym this week. Hopefully I can stick to it. That's because like I get way too much pain here and there, and the only way to get rid of that is to get actual pain from the gym. No, like just trying to keep healthy and stuff, keep my muscles, not like my bulging muscles, but like my muscles under my skin, keep them fit and strong. Maybe I might do it there. I could do that. Yeah, you know, just keep myself fit and healthy. But it is an effort. Like, a lot of people would say it's hard to start something, like, you know, it's hard to start gym, for example, in this instance. But to be honest, and this is my saying, like, you don't have to listen to it and you don't have to agree to it, but starting something is easy. Like, starting the gym is really easy. The hard part is sticking to it. Like, people go, it's hard to do this and it's hard to do that. It's actually not. Like, it's easy to start straight away, in my opinion. The hard part is sticking to it and sticking to a routine, because, again, it's another discipline that you need to do. Might do that. yeah, it's another discipline that you need to teach yourself to stick to. So I just did yesterday and the day before gym training, you know, just a bit of cardio and weights and stuff. And I'm going again tonight, hopefully. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really follow it. I don't really follow a routine. I'm actually following somebody else. I'm following my boyfriend's routine, whatever he's creating, because otherwise I just focus on cardio and do that, because I generally like jogging. I'm a little bit unfit for it right now. Like, I did a 10-minute jog / run yesterday and my ankles are killing me. Whereas before, it was like, yeah, no, it's too easy. And like, I don't have to concentrate too much on what I need to do with jogging other than remembering to breathe and put the next foot in front. Sorry, this part here looks like it's indirect sun, and I'm not sure whether or not I like that or not. Especially because this part here is so bright. There we go. Maybe that works a bit better. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oops, I should have finished like 6 minutes ago. But you know what? I will try and get the hair done today, and then I will finish up. So that's going to take me another while. I don't know, let's, I know I shouldn't speed up, but at the same time, this, like, it's something that I do need to work on. Not speeding up, but being more proficient with my drawings. That is so wrong. Why is that so wrong? What I might do is make that a lot lighter. So that seems to be working a little bit more without losing its form too much. There we go. We'll just add a little bit of strands. Oops. Yes, I'm still listening to somebody play games on YouTube. Because why not? There we go. I'm going to do that there. That's working well, I think. Actually, here's a topic I was talking to with somebody earlier today. For many of those who are just interested in art but don't really do it themselves or are at a lower level, like me, I'm at a very low level. But again, these are my opinions and thoughts on the subject. Commissions and stuff, requests, art trades and that. So I've been trying to get commissions every now and again. Not so much right now, even though I have one right now, but not so much right now. But like the last couple of times where I've advertised that I'm open to do commissions, the one thing that really annoys me with it is that people will ask for art trades. Oh no, sorry, not art trades, requests. And you know, there's nothing wrong with requests if you want to do it and if you have the time for it. But for these particular reasons, I wanted to do commissions because I didn't have money and I needed a little bit of money. So, you know, food and stuff. And the last time that I advertised for it, I'm pretty sure it was the last time. I said specifically no requests in capital letters so people could see that. And then not too long after, I start getting a bunch of requests, and I'm like, sorry guys, I've said in my post that I am not taking any request. On the rare occasion, I might do a request, but recently, you know, I've just been busy. I've been studying, I've been working, I've been trying to do chores around the house, which I keep putting off, and that's what I spent the last 2 days doing, is catching up to all the chores that I need to do. And what I want people to really understand about that is that you know, don't get upset if people aren't taking your request. Especially people who advertise for commissions, because and I've seen this with somebody else. I paid them to teach me animation before I did any of my courses, and somebody was just taking out a really big go on them, saying that they're just taking people's money and they're being greedy. But in reality, you know, drawing, learning how to draw, learning how to animate and stuff, it's a skill and it takes time. Like, you don't just pick up a pen and go, bam, I'm great. It's really a skill that you have to develop over time. And like, for example, at this stage here, I started drawing properly, digitally, 2 years ago. It's taken me 2 years ago to get to this stage, and still I can see things that I can fix. And that's from hours and hours of studying. And I get really annoyed when people ask for requests and then they get upset and they're like, oh, I don't understand, it's just a drawing, or something like that, you know, not necessarily that exact excuse, but yeah, please just realize that these are all skills as well. Like, for example, if you needed something repaired in your house, you're still going to have to pay them, because that is a skill that they had to learn and pay for in their own time, like, and that you're paying them to fix it. Like, if you want a drawing and stuff, essentially you're asking that person to use the skills that they've developed and stuff, you know, to get better, to try and make a living from it. And you say, and people, not you directly, but people who say, you know, it's just a drawing or stuff like that, I think it's a bit rude and inconsiderate, you know. In my case, like I said, I needed the money at the time, and I spent ages, like, I'm still learning. I'm spending like hours and hours learning. Like, doing a drawing, learning how to draw in itself is just like so underrated. Well, not underrated, but like so misunderstood. I remember I was doing an art course a few years ago and somebody's just like, oh, it's a drawing, how hard could that be? Well, really, you're learning. The drawing is the overall, and under that is you've got all the sub topics that you need to learn, the sub fundamentals, you know. There's gesture, there's form, there's anatomy, there's color, there's all these different things, and those topics you need to learn within itself. I'm going on a rant right now. I'm really sorry. And I'm not a professional either. Like, this is just, all this talk is just based on what I've learned and what I've done so far. And again, I'm no professional or master of any of this, and I know that I need to study my stuff and learn these, and I'm not stating in any way that I'm a professional or a master of this and I understand everything. I don't. But like, what I'm trying to make like the general public understand is that, like, drawing is a skill. It's not just something that you can do on a whim. I mean, you've got your talented people and your hobbyists, which is fine, and they do it for fun, which is fine, but again, I'm speaking from my experience in my case. I spend hours learning how to do all this, and I spent hours trying to learn how to do all this and get better, and then it just really, you know, it really hurts when somebody wants to take something from me and not acknowledge, well, they don't even have to acknowledge, but they don't even, like, want to realize that I spend a lot of time and effort to get where I am, especially, like, with all the requests that I was getting earlier. They obviously have an interest in my art style and my drawing, that's why they're asking about it, but then they're not sympathetic when I ask, you know, for that I don't take requests, that I'm not doing it. And then they lose all interest because they're not getting something for free from me, like something that I've spent hours learning how to do, and they're not getting it for free. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not, you know. I gotta live as well. I gotta make an earning, and if I keep doing stuff for free, or if I continue to do these things for free all the time, then people are just gonna take advantage of that, you know. I mean, you might see if you follow me on any of my stations. Yeah, sure. Sometimes I do gifts and giveaways and stuff like that every now and again. Not like, you know, once a week or once a month. Just every now and again. You know, because I have the time. Or in case of birthdays, for example, I sometimes do birthday presents for some of my close friends and family members, which are drawings, and that's only because I can't afford real gifts, so I just do these nice gesture drawings for them because that's what I can afford at the time, you know. But yeah, like, and that's not to say, you know, you get some artists who might take advantage of their customers, sorry. I've heard of those stories too, where somebody might pay them a great deal of money or whatever, and they've just like done this trashier product for you, even though you've paid for it. Like, it's not to say that I haven't heard of that either, and that's terrible. I can't, unfortunately, I can't really relate to that because I haven't commissioned anybody to do anything for me before, because I've always just done it myself. But let's see how that looks. Yeah, see, so that's coming out nicer there. Yeah, and unfortunately, I know that those things happen. I guess you just have to, like, look at their stuff and see what they do and see their prices. Maybe, I don't know, make up a contract or something. I did that for one of my commissions. And maybe just ask around if they're like one of the big guys or, you know, one of the well-known people. But yeah, unfortunately, I've heard of that side too, and it's sad that people do that, you know, especially, like, it just puts them off from going back to you, for one, as a regular customer or whatever, but also, like, for other people who are trying to do the right thing and give them the best product, and that one potential person might be put off because of their experience with that one bad artist. Also, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just sad that people can do that. But yeah, back to my commissions and stuff and what I was talking about earlier. Just please realize that, you know, people like me and other people have been working really hard on this, on getting better. They've spent years trying to get better. And when people get upset that they're being charged, you know, don't get upset. We've worked at this skill as well. We've spent years honing our skills, and the last thing we need is somebody telling us that, or trying to take advantage of our work. Oh, actually, I've heard of some horror stories where people have done designs and people have stolen that and put a note on t-shirts and kept the money from themselves. Like, I don't know what to do in that case, but that's horrible. When I first heard that, I was just like, no way, you've got to be kidding me. Like, people actually do that. I shouldn't be surprised, really. But yeah, it's shocking what people do. I feel like that's still a bit too dark. I might make that lighter. And make that a bit darker there. Go. I don't know, give me your thoughts, guys, like, or any bad experiences that you've had. Tell me about them. Warn me, please, so I know. Let me just... yeah, like I said last week, I keep going back to and forth between the line art and not the line art, because, like I said, sometimes the line art can be very restricting, in terms of, like, following a restricted area, and taking it away brings a bit more freedom into, like, creating more, I guess, natural, I don't know, the natural feeling of it. I can't really explain it. It's just something where, like, I'm still learning, the natural, like, oh yeah, I feel this is right, sort of thing. I don't know, maybe some of you understand me. I'm sorry for the others that don't understand me. It's just, I don't know, I can't explain it well. And then sometimes I'll need to put it on to see where the hair is going and where it cuts off here, because this hair is on top. That is called overlapping. See, younger Toy would be like, whatever. And now I'm just like, modern Toy is just like, you need to know all these things to make the drawing look good. They weren't for nothing, you imbecile child. Yeah. So this is called overlapping, sort of. That helps like bring out more depth. Oh man, sometimes I wish I could go back in time and like yell at myself going, don't listen to talent. Talent lies to you. You need to learn all these. Past Toya, why? Heed my advice, young or newbie artists. Do not listen to talent. It lies to you. It spreads filthy hobbits' lies. No, it really does though. And I suck at voices, so please. Yeah, I just suck at voices. You don't need to tell me. I know. I'm a good mimic. I can mimic voices really well once I learned it. But when it comes to actually doing voices off the top of my head, I can't do it. Cannot do it. Like, I'm amazed at how people can change their voices or just like do an accent straight away, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. Not even now. Or you guys are all listening, or someday will be listening. Not gonna try. This is what I do, drawing. This is my skill. Oh, that's another topic that we can sort of talk about. Wow, I suck. No, that's not the topic. Let's not talk about how much I suck. Talent and skills. Now, talent. I don't know. This is what I've come to believe in talent. It's not something that's natural to you, but I think talent is something that makes learning a specific subject or topic easier. In contrast to other things. So like, you wouldn't say somebody's talented at math or talented at I don't know, electricity, I don't know, whatever. That's something you learn over time. Whereas a lot of people would put the two, talent and art, together. You're really talented at art and stuff. And I guess in some sense, yes, it could be true in that, because, you know, you're doing it quite well. But I think that talent is more like something that you learn easily more than other things. I think that's what talent really is. It's not something that you're naturally good at. That's where skill comes in. Skill is something that you've studied and applied practice to over time. So I guess, what the hell is happening there? What the shoe off? Skill is something that you've learned and studied and applied over time to get better. And I know, and I guess this is myself included as well, I know that a lot of people get really annoyed when people go, you're so talented at art, because I guess talent, it takes away all the skill. Like, you wouldn't say, oh, you're so talented at building a house, because that person had to learn how to build the house. And it's the same thing with art. Not trying to start a debate here, I'm just putting out thoughts and something else to talk about. But yeah, talent and skill, like, doing art is still a skill, but people still say talent, you're talented at art. It's like, no, I've studied just as hard, or if not harder, to do this. And now you're all calling me whack job because I'm saying that art is actually a trade. Sorry, I've got like, I had to burp there, sorry. Yeah, no, art is a skill, guys. Start believing in it. It is a skill. I mean, I'm not too offended when people say you're talented, especially when they mean it out of the kindness of their heart. I don't go overboard with like, oh, you know, that's such an insult to me. You should be calling me this. You should be calling me skilled, not talented. I don't do that. If they generally mean it with mean it with sincerity, I'm fine with that. But yeah, some people still don't like, some artists I should say, still don't like to be called talented. And in a way, I guess in some cases, or it is, I guess, an insult. Like I said, with the whole topic of like art being a talent, or more related to it being a talent rather than a skill, as opposed to any other person who does this, a trade of some sort, and then they're called skilled. Yeah, not to saying that, like, not dismissing a trade or something else, like being a skill. It's still a skill. I'm not saying, you know, it's a talent. It's definitely something that you learn over time and do, but, you know, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make a point that art is also a skill, not a talent. I've been watching a lot of videos online for like the last year and a bit. Interviews, talks, tutorials, sorry, stuff like that. I've got a bit of hay fever coming on. And, great, now I've lost my train of thought because of my hay fever. And I've just heard about how some people do get a little bit upset that when their stuff is dismissed as a talent. And, yeah, I heard one thing where they were saying, you know, can somebody get into, like, I think it was the games and films industry in general, actually. Can somebody get into the industry based on talent alone? And I'm pretty sure all of them pretty much said no. Like, you aren't just good. You have to like study. You have to develop your skills over time. So I feel like that's wrong. Oh, I feel like that's wrong. Yeah, and I believe that too. Like, okay, if I showed you my work that I consider talent level, your jaw would hit the ground and not come back up. Like, my drawings, oh, it was so bad. Oh, they were so bad. And at the time, I generally believed that I was really good at drawing. I was not. I still am not. I am still learning. This is the consequences of not practicing properly and giving into my talent because I was too lazy to learn. Yeah, that's working well. Yeah, I wish I could go back in time and say, study, Toya. Don't listen to the voices in your head. I think that could go there. I don't know. I really need to hop off and start. Actually, I need to eat lunch, to be honest, and then start on this map. Then I gotta cook dinner later. Today is Wednesday. I think I should stay up really late tonight. I've got a midnight shift on Saturday morning, actually. And I gotta stay up on Thursday night, so that way my sleeping pattern is ready for Friday night, Saturday morning. I'm thinking whether or not I should stay up tonight. Because I've got work tomorrow at 12, and I'm just planning to walk to work, which is about half an hour to 30 minutes, depending on how energetic I am. And I'm just thinking about staying up to make up for the lost time that I'll be sleeping. That way I can just wake up and go straight to work instead of, like, you know, waking up and going, I don't have enough time to do anything because I've only got an hour, and what can I do in an hour? Drawing wise, like, I want to do a bit more drawing. Like I said, the last 2 days, I haven't really been at the computer at all. I've only been at it for, like, an hour or two yesterday, and I was just, like, running around. I'm planning to move out next year. I was running around, I'm trying to get rid of things that I haven't touched in a couple of years, like, so that way there's less things to pack and move. I've got a house inspection coming up soon sometime. I don't know when, but I spent like the last 2 days cleaning the house, vacuuming, dusting, cleaning up. It takes a while when it's just me doing it, especially because I've got a new realtor and I have to get in their good graces to get a good reference from her. because my old one, I don't know, he left or something, and he really liked me, or he really liked us, I should say. He was always happy with our inspections, and so he pretty much, you know, came in and then walked straight out the door sort of thing. I don't know if that happens with anybody else, and he's told us a few horror stories here and there, but now, you know, I've got to start all over again with this new realtor and say, look, I am a good tenant, give us good reference, you know. Don't dismiss our cleanliness. Yeah, the hair's coming along right, and it's sort of looking like that. I think I need to make it a little bit more lighter. It looks a bit dark. I can do that later. One of the other things that I used to do, nothing bad, but it's something that I've definitely gotten better at, probably since the start of the year, was I'd do a drawing and it looked really good, but then I started playing around with the hue and colour and stuff, the saturation and that, all those nifty tools in the image layer. Yeah, adjustments, there we go, all that. And I'd do it, and it actually ended up looking so much more better, and I'm like, how did I miss that? And now I've actually been finding that I play less and less with it because I don't need to. So I guess in some ways I have actually gotten better. That's, I guess, the one thing that's very hard. I don't know, and probably everybody else can relate to this, that I've been finding hard is I'm trying really hard to upskill, and while you're doing it, you don't even notice that you're upskilling and you still feel at the same spot. That's actually how I felt with this drawing. Not generally that particular statement that I just said, but like I'd feel recently, let's say July and August, I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with my drawings, and I thought I was still at a halt with my skill level. Like, I wasn't upskilling at all. Yeah, and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with it. And I didn't notice because, you know, when you're improving on something, it's gradual. You don't notice things. And yeah, it can be disheartening as well, I think, in my opinion. It can be very disheartening. Because you don't notice things, and you know, when you don't see improvements and stuff, you wonder whether or not you should just keep going or not. And then I think it was this drawing, I did it, and yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I was just like, holy crap, when did I get this good at it? Like, I'm not saying I'm great, like I said, I'm not saying I'm great, but I was like, how did I get this good at it? Like, and this, I think this was the drawing that I was just like, oh, I am actually improving. I'm actually learning from everything that I've been studying. Who knew? Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, again, my opinion, really, and it could be completely wrong, but I feel like this drawing has reached a professional look. Overall look. It could be better, but I'm talking about in terms of the rendering. It looks, I don't know, to me it looks like it can pass off as a professional drawing, I guess. Whereas earlier, I don't know if you've seen my genie drawing, it looked good, but it still missed that professional feeling to it. It still looked like it needed a lot of work. And that's where I was just like, and that's how I felt like I was stuck there for a while. Like, I'm getting better, but I feel like I can't nail that professional look. And that was really annoying me, like really making me angry. Oh, annoyed, frustrated, not angry. And now I think I'm starting to do that a bit more. Or it's starting to show a bit more. Oh, I'm out of oxygen. Yeah, so I'm getting more and more happier, but like, for example, with this, the one thing that I would like to improve on is maybe a little bit more anatomy and definitely gesture, because she looks very stiff. Don't mean to point that out. Maybe some of you can already see that. Some of you didn't even see that at all and go, "Why did you tell me?" And then others are like, "Yeah, I knew that from the start. That's what it looked like." Yeah, anatomy's hard, guys. Everything's hard. Learning color is hard. Anatomy is hard. I'm trying. It's not easy. I'm freaking out. I've got the YouTube stream up on my other screen, and it keeps moving, and it is freaking me out. And that one there too. There is movement in my house. Okay. Yeah, that's looking alright. The hair's looking okay for now. I mean, I'll go back and make it look a bit more hair-like instead of steel. Boop, boop, boop. Delete, delete. Yeah, I wish I was faster at this. I really do. I'm not fast at all. I'm very slow. I mean, I don't know how long the professionals might take at an illustration. I think I've heard about a week, but I could be wrong. A week or more doing illustrations like this. I've always been interested in trying like the motion graphics that like League of Legends do, the illustration movements. That'd be pretty neato. But I don't have money to afford After Effects. I mean, I've got a general idea of how to do it. Done a little bit of, is it called Duik and sliders and stuff before. I'll probably have to relearn how to do it again. I haven't touched it in over a year. But at the same time, like, it's not something that I want to focus on in my career because I want to do other things like concept art and stuff. So I need to focus more on that first. And if I have time, which I probably won't because I keep coming up with new projects that I should do and I still haven't started. Like my Halloween project, I haven't started that at all. I just came up with the idea and I'm just like, now what do I do? And I'm too busy doing stuff like this, streaming for fun, or helping, or doing other things. Anyway, I was hoping to get the hair done. I mean, I'm getting there. I might add a bit of a shadow there for the ear. The ear is casting a nice shadow. This is called a cast shadow. That is more for my knowledge than yours, because these things sometimes I need to repeat in my head before it actually sticks there. That's how I studied in uni, was I kept writing shit down and stuff down until I actually remembered it off by heart. But yeah, there's the hair. I need to fix the butt. Guys, remember to remind me to fix the butt, because when I squint my eyes, it looks way too light. And the light should be hitting more up there. That looks a little better. Yeah, there's the hair for you. The details and stuff. That's how it might look eventually. And then I can go back and add strands in that. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be back next week. I think I've got a few more shifts next week, but yeah, hopefully I'll be back next week. Let me know what your thoughts are on some of the topics that I brought up today. I'd like to hear from you. Have a good, I think it's nighttime in like America and Canada. Have a good night there. I watch one American and one Canadian guy, so sort of. They're always streaming when I'm in bed sleeping at 2 a.m. in the morning in Australia. And good afternoon to all the Australians. Have a nice lunch. I'm going to go have lunch now.